Yeah, they hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping on me.
Yo, Travis.
Yeah?
What song is this? It sounds super familiar. Oh, this is Jake's new single. Let me put it on the screen.
Yeah, they hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping on me.
I'm Jake. No relation.
Who?
You know, Canadian rapper and former child star, Jake.
Oh. You know what I thought this was? It sounds exactly like
God's Plan by Drake. Please. They're totally different.
Lord scheme. Lord scheme.
whatever. Whoa.
What's up?
I just got an ad for the Jake concert.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's almost like Instagram was listening to our conversation.
That's ridiculous. It's just a coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't wanna get demonetized, I don't.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jake, wasn't that the name of the kid who used to look just like you in middle school?
Who?
The one everyone mixed you up with? I thought it was Jake or like Justin or something.
Oh, yeah. That was straight up racist.
Oh my god.
What? I mean, we looked at...
It was Justin. He just showed up in my suggested friends on Facebook.
Wow, that's crazy.
Apparently he became a software engineer.
Oh, yeah? What a loser.
But seriously though, these algorithms are getting pretty creepy. Like maybe they are listening to us?
No, it's probably like a 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon thing, you know? I bet he's friends with a lot of our friends from middle school.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense. Man, you have an explanation for everything. By the way, dude,
Yeah?
I've been digging your style lately. It's weird to say, but you dress exactly how I would want to dress. Like, where do you even buy a shirt like that?
You know, yeah, you know what? I forget. So are you gonna buy it or not?
What?
The shirt. This is a simulation. All of this just exists to sell you.
Wow, you're right, this is a simulation. Nobody uses Facebook anymore. Hi there, I'm Jarvis, and welcome back to my weird little YouTube channel where I combine comedy with my desire to be accepted. So we've all been there, right? You're doing something in the real world when you pull out your phone like you do every 5 minutes because you're a millennial, and you spot a creepily relevant ad. Maybe it's a conversation that you were having with a friend, maybe it's a thought that crossed your mind. I'll admit, it's pretty eerie how irrelevant some of these ads can seem. It's almost like your phone is listening to your every word. It isn't, but I know it can feel that way. So today we're gonna talk about why that is. But first, I just did a search on YouTube for the phrase, "Is Google listening to me?" And the results are startling. This appears to be one of the first viral videos on the topic. This couple thinks that their Facebook app is spying on them.
Okay, so this phone is my wife's, and we think Facebook is listening to us and then putting in suggested ads through Facebook.
Now that I think about it, this is kind of a low-stakes conspiracy. Honey, Facebook is listening to our every word. Why? Why would they do that? To tell us about things that we should maybe buy. Like ads? Yeah. This could have been much worse.
So we're going to do a test here, and all day we're going to talk about cat food, because we don't have any cats. We never search for cats, especially cat food. So let's find out. Alright, so all day we are going to be talking about cat food. Because I could use some cat food.
Well, the cat is almost out of food, so
We might need some cat food.
we should buy some cat food.
What is happening? All of these videos have this. Because they think their phones are spying on them, they test it by talking to their phones in like the most unnatural way. Even if Facebook was listening, these aren't conversations that people actually have. Cat food, guess I'm out of cat food, gonna have to buy some new cat food and go to the place where I buy the cat food, which is the Petco. Petco's... I wanted a job as a telemarketer, but I got stuck with this. I mean, I get it. I realize if I put myself in their shoes, this can seem really concerning. But come on. Weird, I got an ad for cat food.
And there you have it. Cat food. So I guess Facebook does listen. Oh, by the way, this came in 2 days later, I think.
Case closed. I waited 2 days and now the thing is here that I said would be here. Conspiracy solved. The fact that they have to wait 2 days makes it seem like it's the slowest magic trick of all time. Come one, come all. Watch as I make this dollar bill disappear. Whoa, cool. And now we just have to say the magic words, abra, cadabra, trade with a link cable, alakazam. It's still there. Give it like 2 days. So a couple things here. First, the app isn't open, so that would mean that Facebook was recording in the background, which isn't a feature that Apple exposes in their SDK. So Facebook would have to be like deliberately hiding this information from Apple, which is a thing that can happen. Like Uber did this, but it seems like a reach. And two, it's a coincidence. Like, I make fun, but this video is pretty innocuous. They're obviously just making it to share a thing with friends, but now millions of people have seen it, and so it kind of serves to like propagate this conspiracy theory. Let's look at the comments. Makes sense. Facebook probably has the most users on any website in the world. Only explanation is the government is using Facebook to spy on us. Only explanation. Watch this video get magically taken down. It's just concerning to me. People are taking this at face value. Did they not see the giant cut to 2 days later in the beginning of the video?
And there you have it. Cat food.
Hey guys, so it's been about 2 days and my $1 bill from earlier has turned into $10. The only explanation is that the Facebook app is multiplying my money somehow. Gotta get rid of Facebook. So if you thought a 2-day turnaround was scary, this next video is gonna spook your socks off. Is Google listening to you? Live test. It says live test in the title, so you know it's scientific. So this guy does a 9-minute live stream to demonstrate that Google is listening to him. And he does this by writing a phrase on a piece of paper, looking at his ads before he talks about the phrase, and then he talks about the phrase for 2 minutes in the video, and then we'll see what happens. Can you guess? This video has 7 million views and a decent like to dislike ratio. And it's totally fake or a coincidence, you know? Before we jump into it though, let's take a look at the comments to this video to see what we're in for. That's actually creepy, dude. You know, if Cheesy Charlie is creeped out, you're in for a real spook. I'm here before this gets deleted by YouTube, XD. Another person who's like thinks that this is blowing the whistle on some huge cover up. That's how real people think this is. Which brings me to an important point. If this scandal was real, don't you think we'd hear about it? It would be like the biggest news.
Today I'm going to be doing a live test to see if Google is always listening on your microphone. So I've written down a subject that we're going to talk about on a piece of paper. I can't speak it out loud yet because we got to do a test first, but this is the subject we're going to talk about, okay? It's not like it's something I've ever searched for in the past, so it's not gonna be on any of the websites it shouldn't be on any of the websites that we go to. All right, and then Science Festival on WRAL.com. Okay, so I don't see any advertisements for what we have on our piece of paper. So what we're going to do now is we're going to close all the browsers. We're going to close everything, and then we're going to talk about this subject for a couple of minutes.
He closes the browser? Okay, so now the hypothesis must be that Google is listening to you even when the browser's closed again. So this would mean that Google has like some spyware running on your computer. I guess the hypothesis of this video is just like so vague. Oh, and now he talks about dog toys for 2 minutes.
If I had some money right in my wallet, I'd take it out and give it to whoever is selling dog toys.
If I had some money right now, are you listening? As expected, this is the most bizarre part of the video, but I get it. These are the things that you sacrifice for the truth.
Let's go ahead and get back online and let's see what we got here. First website up. Oh my God!
Oh my God!
It's right there!
Goodness gracious. Are those obvious as dog toys? Like, I've had dogs before and even if I was like staring at that, I would have to like zoom in to determine whether or not it was a dog toy. But this guy like instantly knows. It's a little suspect. Now, when I first watched this, I'll admit it was pretty compelling, but a couple of things. It's a live stream, which makes it seem like a more legitimate test, but you can live stream a pre-recorded video, so it could be edited. Like, how did he know that 2 minutes was enough time for these changes to take effect? Like, did he do a dry run? It all seems too convenient, you know? He's also logged into his Google account, so, I mean, I was able to reproduce this. If you just Google dog toys a bunch, you can get dog toys across your different accounts. Kind of sucks because now I'm getting like ads for dog toys everywhere, but we'll talk about why later in the video.
So let's click on that ad and see where it takes us.
Well, everybody, I think that is conclusive evidence
That your microphones are literally always listening.
No, it's not. You clicked on one link. You gotta have at least some amount of doubt, right? Like, even if this was real, he was so ready to accept the first sign as conclusive when it's circumstantial at best. This guy would be a horrible detective. Murdered in cold blood. The kid never had a chance. What's this? Well, everybody wrap it up. I think we have conclusive evidence. So upon further inspection, it seems like this guy's aware that his video doesn't prove anything. At the bottom of his description, he links to someone else's video that he says is a more scientific analysis. Let's see what they say.
Recently, I watched a video.
Holy shit. The voice is very creepy. Anyway, this guy basically says, no, there's no evidence of this. In his own words, the fatal flaw of his video is that he was live streaming on YouTube, which creates this captions file, which has like speech to text, like makes a text file of all of the words that he said, which could be used to target ads. I think this is plausible, but a lot of his behavior, like closing the browsers and stuff, seems pretty strange to me. People would be just as creeped out if he had left the browser on, but the fact that he closed it just makes me think that when he closed it, there was someone else who did a bunch of searches, and then the browser sync happens when the browser closes, so he got all of their search history and then was able to get recommended those ads. Also, the 2-minute thing is suspect. Oh god, now I sound like a conspiracy theorist. So he learned his lesson and made a follow-up video to correct his mistake, primarily by removing the live stream component and turning it into a regular ass video, because those can't be edited. To his credit, he never finds anything, but has made like 4 more videos since. Because, okay, well, I mean, look at those views. I get it. For a time, I was putting like day in the life of a software engineer in like every video because I just wanted him to get views. I think the reason that it's so easy to believe that Facebook and Google are listening to your conversations is because the alternatives are hard to accept. Like maybe these huge corporations like Facebook and Google and hundreds of other companies are building complex profiles based on your behavior and user data of you and your friends. And you don't want to believe that you've shared so much information that it's actually quite easy to target you. Or maybe you as a human, despite feeling unique and like the center of your own narrative, are in fact quite predictable. Or maybe it's both. It's both. Not convinced? I don't care, because what I'm about to talk to you about is way creepier and way more effective than listening to your conversation. Let's talk about ad targeting. So when you visit most websites in most web browsers, you're given this thing called a cookie. Here you go. Thanks, man. The cookie is meant to make your website experience a little sweeter. Don't eat the cookie. It's not for eating. It's for holding on to information about your history with the website. Think of these cookies as little ID cards that have your website preferences on them. Things like whether or not you're logged in or what items are in your shopping cart. So if you're the Chewy dog toy company and you want to advertise Chewy dog toys or whatever, you don't go to a website directly. You talk to something called an ad network, who's basically the middleman between you and the websites that are showing your ads. Let's give this network a name. We'll call it Jeff. Let's say Jeff serves up 99% of the ads on the internet. So when you go to ilovecats.com, Jeff knows about that because he sells their ads. And when you go to picturesofshovels.com, Jeff is confused, but he knows about that too because he also sells them ads. So because Jeff represents not just one website, but basically all of them, he's able to combine all of your user behavior into a very robust profile. And he does this for you, your friends, people with the same interests as you, basically every possible, permutation of group that you're a part of, or that Jeff thinks you're a part of, because he may not know it for sure. Jeff isn't actually interested in you, the individual. He's interested in these big groups that you're a part of. In the ad world, those are called audiences. You might be in an audience that represents visitors to ilovecats.com. You might be in an audience for people who are believed to reside in Gainesville, Florida. Maybe you're favorite mom and pop crab shack has a loyalty card that you registered with your email address. Well, it's possible that your mom and pop crab shack wants to get better at advertising to residents of your town. So they upload your email address and your purchase history to Jeff. And now Jeff has even more information about you, and you didn't even visit a website for that one. In the case of audiences, a group or like an external event in the real world can influence what ads you see. Like if my friend Alexis, who's on YouTube, subscribe to her, have similar interests and similar browsing patterns, we are probably going to be in a lot of audiences together because we also are the same age and live in the same city, work at the same company. We're both YouTubers. So you could probably build an audience of hobbyist YouTubers who are in their 20s and work at Patreon, which would also include Mayuko. So we've got our little test audience here that I'm a part of. And let's say I search for Childish Gambino tickets because I know he's coming to town in September. And then maybe in person, I tell Alexis that I'm interested in going to this concert, and she gets back to her computer. And what does she see? Oh my God, it's an ad for the Childish Gambino concert. Spooky. Like I was saying before, you can also see ads based on real world events. Like maybe in another concert example, popular Canadian rapper Jake is coming to San Francisco, and his tour promoters target an audience that's like, 18 to 35 in San Francisco, which includes me. And then I hear Jake's song on the radio because the reason that he's touring is because he's a popular musician. And then I see an ad for his concert, and I like conflate those two things, and I'm like, whoa, they're listening to me, man. And these ads are relevant as they're intended to be. That's like the whole point of these systems. So that's a very simplified way of what goes on. Real quick, here are some ways that this gets creepier. Facebook tracks you all over the internet with things like the like button. Even if you turn off cookies, ad targeters can still target you based on other environmental factors. You can be tracked across devices. Like, okay, so yesterday I searched for Hillshire Farm sausages on my desktop, and today I was scrolling Twitter and I saw an ad for it. So that's a thing that happens. Some networks share information, so it just allows them to get even better at doing this. There are just so many ways that you get tracked on the internet, and none of them are Facebook and Google recording your conversations. But it doesn't matter because they have much more relevant data. For the most part, it's just interest and behavior data, not like personally identifiable information, except on Facebook, because you gave that to them. Once you know a bit about ad networks and how much information they have at their disposal to target you, the examples from earlier, to me at least, seem a lot less creepy. The cat toys couple from earlier, humans are not truly random. They're influenced by their environment in every way, basically. So even coming up with the term cat toys was probably influenced by the environment. Maybe a neighbor got a cat. They are trying to be random. They think of cat toys, not knowing it's subconsciously coming from the neighbor who just got a cat. And that neighbor, because they just got a cat, Googles a lot about cat food, maybe. And the couple exists in an audience with their neighbor because of the geographic connection, like they're very closely related people, and they probably have similar IP addresses and stuff. And so, boom, you're getting ads for cat food because of the search behavior of your neighbor. Here's a couple of other things to keep in mind. It's human nature to search for meaning in coincidences. There are billions of users on the internet every single day, and so billions of ads are being served. There's bound to be some wacky ad stories. And for the ones that aren't coincidences, we are completely out of touch with how much we're being tracked. If every day we had to personally hand Mark Zuckerberg a document of all of our browser activity and preferences, maybe we'd be more in touch with it, but we're just so used to giving this stuff away that, when you get targeted in a certain way, it's just like, how did they know? And then you realize that you passively let it all hang out. You can actually look at your ad profiles, like how advertisers see you on Google and Facebook. I'll leave some links down below. A lot of this ad profile and targeting stuff has been publicly available information, but it was in your settings in the terms of service, so you probably never looked at it. By the way, this is like the entire business model of pretty much any ad-based service. If the service is free, then you're probably the product. That's true most of the time. And there's also probably a lot of confirmation bias in the creepy anecdotes. Like you, as an individual, you see thousands and thousands of ads per day, but the ones you remember are going to be the ones that struck you as odd or creepy or relevant or whatever. If you counted up all the ads that you're served versus the ones that are relevant to you, you'd see that they're not actually that good, but they're taking the shotgun approach. I haven't even talked about the fact that it's technically infeasible to do this, but I'll leave some resources. You can do your own research on that one. If I haven't convinced you yet, I probably won't. One of my favorite podcasts, Reply All, did an episode about this, and people remained pretty staunch in their beliefs. All in all, I don't think that Facebook and Google are listening to your conversations, but I do think the way that they track us is pretty creepy. That being said, I don't think ads are inherently a bad thing. They're the money engine that runs the internet, but they're so integral to the function of the internet that they can be abused. I'm not a big fan of blocking all ads on websites because it is how these websites make money. This is how your favorite websites make money, probably. I'm able to further invest in this channel because of the money that I make from ads. So if you block my ads, it's kind of like being a movie buff that pirates all their movies, and I mean, who would pirate a movie? So in closing, I hope you feel like a more educated internet citizen, and thanks for making it this far, because you just helped me clock in 20 more watch time minutes for the algorithm. I'll leave some resources down below where you can learn how you're being tracked and, get yourself tracked less or to your comfort level. For what it's worth, I haven't done any of this because it doesn't concern me very much, but you may be different. That's all I have for today. This video took for fucking ever, so I hope it shows. But yeah, see ya. Thanks to Jensen for subscribing and hitting the bell. If you want me to shout you out in the end card like this, well, you gotta go hit the bell like Jensen did. Unless you're not gonna click and watch all my videos, because I'm not trying to upset the algorithm.